Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yudhapatakamallam Sri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajataham Sahakala Raghunatham Vidam Tham Sajivam Sadhaitam Sadhutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Patahan Sahakala Lalita Sri Vishakambhidamscha Namaho Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Aschayate Satarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Thatta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanshakalpa Taruyascha Kripa Sindhu Yadevacha Patidhanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We offer our sincerest, heartfelt obeisances and gratitude to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Through his vision and compassion, we have all been brought together in the holy land of Vrindavan. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living in Navadvip, as Nimai Pandit, he successfully conquered every possible scholar in his knowledge of the scriptures. When he went to Gaya on the occasion of offering the Shraddha of his departed father, Sri Jagannath Mishra, he met with Sripad Ishwara Puri. In the presence of the presiding Istadev, the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, hearing sincere and pure-hearted Brahmins chanting the praises and the powers of loving devotion to the feet of Vishnu, and then seeing his Guru standing before him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first manifested what he had hidden so carefully throughout his life. The very purpose of his coming to the world. Could everyone hear? Haribol and no sounds the same from what I'm saying. Could you hear? My God brothers and God sisters could hear. It's watering the root of the tree, so all of you will be happy. He came to this world, Krishna, to taste the sweetness of Sri Radha's love, to feel the happiness that she experiences when she tastes the sweetness of his love. As no one else could do. And through the Harinam Sankirtan movement, as well as the examples of his devotees, he wanted to share that love with the world. That love erupted uncontrollably in his heart at that moment. He accepted initiation from Ishwarapur, rendered very humble, simple services. He cooked for his Guru. He cleaned for his Guru. He massaged the feet and the legs of his Guru. He volunteered to do any menial chore for his Guru. Although from a material perspective, he was the greatest scholar in the whole world, from a spiritual perspective, he's the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, the source of Brahman and Paramatma. He wanted to show by his example how to progress on the path of bhakti as a devotee. And also, from an internal perspective, it is the Lord's deep, eternal wish to serve his devotees. As the devotee's only wish is to serve and please the Lord. There is that beautiful meditation of Krishna as a little infant baby, Gopal, laying on a single leaf from a banyan tree. And that leaf is floating in the ocean of devastation with nothing else around it. Now, if you were a little baby on a single leaf in a massive ocean that covered the entire planet of the Earth, that was covering half the universe, and there were massive waves and Timingilla jumping up and down, what would you do? Krishna was very happily sucking on his toe. Markandeya Rishi had this darshan. And our beloved acharyas tell why he was sucking on his toe. Again, there are so many levels of explanation for whatever Krishna may do. One is, babies like to suck their toes. At least that's what they say. You mothers, have you seen this? Lakshmi Moni Devi, the mother of the universe. She is confirming that babies like to suck their toes. So what is so extraordinary about the Supreme Personality of Godhead doing what every baby likes to do? What is so extraordinary is the reason he's doing it. Because devotees, they are willing to undergo any difficulty. They're willing to detach themselves from their homes and their families and their possessions and their ego. They're willing to do absolutely anything to please Krishna, because they want to taste the sweetness of the dust of his lotus feet. The dust of the lotus feet personify service to the person whose feet we are meditating on. When we talk about taking dust, it means surrendering our heart with a deep intention to serve that person and please that person. Vishayana vinivartanti niraharasya dehina rasa bharajam rasopyasya param drisva nivartate. Krishna tells in Gita that one can cross over all the temptations of the attractions and aversions of this world by tasting something higher. And that is bhakti, devotional service. Tasting the sweetness of service to the dust of Krishna's lotus feet. And Krishna sees how his devotees, the type of ecstasies and madness of transcendental happiness that they experience tasting. Krishna wanted to taste it himself. But as Lord Narayan, it wouldn't be befitting. As Krishna, Kishore, was playing on the flute, it doesn't fit. But as a little baby, he could suck his toes to his heart's content and taste the sweetness of what his devotees are always aspiring for. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the mood of a devotee because he wanted to taste the sweetness of love for himself. And the Hladini Shakti, the supreme lover, the reservoir and origin of all love that is in the heart of every devotee, is his own Shakti, Sri Radha. In Gaya, when he was initiated in the holy names, and he began to taste the sweetness of that love, day and night, he could only chant Krishna's names, which is something very significant for us to understand. Nam namakari bahuta nija sarva shaktis. Krishna is not different in his name. All of his powers, his beauty, his sweetness, his abode, his love, everything is there in the name. Golokera premadana harinam sankirtan. This Hare Krishna mantra is not a composition of a saint. It has descended from Goloka Vrindavan. It is Radha Krishna. The Maha Mantra is Shri Shri Radha Krishna in transcendental sound vibration. And in the spiritual world, the highest abode, Goloka, it is the eternal pastime of everyone. To give pleasure to Krishna and to give pleasure to each other by so often chanting this Maha Mantra. Immediately Lord Chaitanya wanted to go to Vrindavan. In fact, in the middle of the night, when everyone was sleeping, he left Gaya and was running to Vrindavan, weeping, crying, "Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna?" Vrindavanam parityajya padam ekam nagacchati. Krishna never takes a single step outside of Vrindavan. In his ecstasies, he was running to this place. The demigods from the higher planets, they called out to Lord Chaitanya, so only he could hear that this is not the time for you to go to Vrindavan. You have descended to the world to establish the Harinam Sankirtan movement in Navadvip. You will go to Vrindavan another time. Out of compassion for all of us, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put aside the most profound longing of his heart to return to his eternal abode of Vrindavan, in the mood of a devotee to meet Krishna. In Navadvip, he established Harinam Sankirtan. In Srivasangam during Mahaprakash, he fulfilled all his devotees' innermost desires by revealing exactly in reciprocation the love of their heart. He revealed his particular form. To Murari Gupta, who was Hanuman, it became Sri Ramchandra. To Kolaveta Sridhar, who was a cowherd boy, he manifested himself as Krishna Balaram. To Haridas Thakur, he revealed his divine form of Sri Krishna. To other Sri Sri Radha Krishna. And he was offering everyone any benediction that they liked. But the only benedictions anyone ever asked for is to be with his devotees, to chant his names, in the mood of the servant of his servants, and never forget him. When there's love, that's the only thing we could ask for. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, years later, accepted sannyas because there were people who were offensive, who were criticizing him. They took him to be ordinary. He was thinking, if they offer obeisances to me, which they will if I'm a sannyasi, then their hearts will be open for me to give them Harinam and Krishna prema. And if I'm a sannyas, I could travel everywhere and give Harinam and Krishna prema. He left home for our sake. He went to Katwa. There Keshav Bharati Maharaj gave him the sannyas name, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, a danda, a kamandalu, the dress of a sannyasi, and shaved his head. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as soon as he accepted that vow, he began to dance in ecstasy and chant. And what were his words? Now I will go to Vrindavan. Now he's a sannyasi. Nothing could stop him. And he was moving toward Vrindavan. Keshav Bharati Maharaj and the entire town of Katwa were going to Vrindavan with him. After some time, he sent everyone back except his very close associates, including Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu knew that the people in Navadvip, Sachi, Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivas and his brothers, Haridas, they were dying of separation. So he led Lord Chaitanya to Shantipur, where he met his mother. And Sachi Devi requested, the same Krishna that's in Vrindavan lives in Puri as Jagannath. Please go there. Then I will hear many stories about you. Kaviraj Goswami tells when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Puri, the thought of Vrindavan would increase his love many, many times, hundreds of times. And when he was en route to Vrindavan, through the Jarikanda forest and all the other places, just knowing he was soon to arrive, that happiness increased hundreds of times. And when he reached Mathura, that happiness increased thousands of times. And when he actually entered into Vrindavan and was roaming around through the 12 forests, that ecstasy increased unlimitedly. But for the sake of his devotees, after 2 months, he went back to Puri, where his whole life, especially in the Gambhira, was separation from Krishna in Vrindavan. Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, they had immense wealth, power, youth, health, everything. Traditionally, people, they come to Vrindavan on a little pilgrimage, but usually when somebody's on the verge of death and there's no other way to heal themselves, then they come to Vrindavan. But these Goswamis that we have just named, they had youth, they had health, they had power, they had everything. But they gave everything away to live under the trees, on the ground, to wear only the clothes that the Brijabasis would discard because it was worthless to them. And they would make a kopan out of it. And to beg with such gratitude. Sanatana Goswami was the prime minister, and the king divided his entire fortune with this. He was like his younger brother. And he was a beggar. He was begging. But let us meditate on this spirit. He wasn't just ritualistically begging. He had such honor for the Brijbasis. He was begging for some of their food. Not because he needed food, because he considered the mercy of the residents of Vrindavan to be a treasure that cannot be valued in monetary terms. When we hear these stories, we can appreciate Srila Prabhupada's kindness to us. We have come where the Lord craved to come his whole life. We have come where the greatest scholars, politicians, billionaires renounced everything to be. We are in Vrindavan. So let us not be in anxiety about little things that may happen. The nature of the mind in a conditioned state is it wants to cheat us of opportunities. When we're in the association of devotees, when we're in kirtan, when we're sitting down at the time of japa, when we're standing before or dancing before the Radharani and Krishna, their holy form in the temple, when we have some seva, we're in Vrindavan. We're being given the greatest opportunity for the highest fortune. But the mind wants to cheat us, to take it cheaply, to be thinking that that focusing its attention on anything else is more important. And we come on these pilgrimages to be with each other, to help remind ourselves very, very strongly that there is nothing more important. Birth after birth after birth, the mind wants to cheat us by putting other priorities to consume our attention. But Harinam, Vaishnav Seva, Jiva Doya, service to the devotees, sharing this wonderful gift with the people of this world. These are the jewels of life. And we come on this pilgrimage to deeply appreciate that treasure and take it back with us wherever we may go in the world. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on his South Indian tour, he stayed at the home of Venkata Bhatta for 4 months, Chaturmasya. In fact, that year, at this time, because Kartik is during Chaturmasya, he was in Rangam. And beautiful pastimes took place there. A few in particular Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami described. Toward the end of the trip, or the stay there, Lord Chaitanya was very much appreciating Venkata because he had such pure devotion to Lord Narayan, Lakshmi Narayan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so pleased, but he wanted to share something even deeper. And one day, in a joking way, he said to Venkatabhatta, "You are a pure devotee of Narayan. This is very good. But Krishna's pastimes are the essence of all sweetness. And even Lakshmi performs tapasya and is willing to leave Vaikuntha in order to taste the sweetness of Krishna's pastimes." Venkatabhatta listened. He was very pleased by what he was hearing. But he said, "But that is not a fault with Lakshmi Devi, because Narayan and Krishna are identical, the same person. So even if she left Narayan for Krishna, because they're the same person, it's not unchaste. So Lakshmi is perfect." Lord Chaitanya said, "Yes, what you are saying is true. But why is it that Lakshmi was not allowed entrance into Krishna's Ras Leela?" And then Lord Chaitanya told stories. There's a place called Govardhan, which is not far from here across the river Yamuna. In Govardhan, at the time of Lord Krishna, there were many trees that had bale fruits. And those fruits were like balls. When Krishna was with the Gopas, the cowherd boys, they would love to play. And those ball-like fruits were very, very enjoyable for them to play with. Can you imagine what it is like playing with Krishna? Krishna is the creator of everything that exists. It's a little meditation. Astronomers are trying to figure out, how does the universe work? The suns and the stars and the planets and the laws of gravity, and the sun planet is millions of times bigger than the earth, and how everything is in its orbit, and within this little tiny speck of a universe, and within the speck in this universe is this little earth planet, and how does the molecule work? How does the atomic particle operate? How does the body work? How does nature? Such incredible creative technology this creation is. It's absolutely inconceivable. And it's all created by Brahma. And Brahma is just created by Vishnu. In fact, the Brahma who created this universe wanted to meet Krishna, and he went to Dwarka. And the guard at the door reported to Krishna, and came back to Brahma and said, "Which Brahma?" Krishna's asking. "Which Brahma?" "The four-headed Brahma." Because he said the four-headed Brahma, Krishna knew how to humble him. When he came in, he saw 8-headed Brahmins, and 16, and 64, and 128, and I'm not a mathematician. He saw Brahmins with hundreds and thousands of heads. So could you imagine what those universes might be like? And Lord Brahma himself has prayed, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchit Ananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. That means I'm a controller, and everyone in a little way is a controller, but Krishna is Parameshwar. He is the supreme controller of all controllers. And his body, his personality is Satchit Ananda, eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. He's the cause of all causes. He's all that is. Sarva Karana Karana. The origin of everything. So if we analyze how material nature works, what creativity, it's absolutely incredible. Well, the cause of all that creativity is playing with his boyfriends. Can you imagine what type of games they create? We see in this world how many little games there are. How many sports? There's so many sports and so many ways to play. In a lifetime of Brahma, even the greatest poets cannot explain how many games Krishna can play with his friends in 1 hour. Achintya Shakti. This is Krishna. And they would play games playing with these balls, fruits. Such simple games. Krishna, what a technologist he is in this universe. Today, the children, they need all kinds of computerized games to be happy. But Krishna's happy just throwing fruits with his friends. This is Vrindavan, where the beauty is in the simplicity. And Belvan was one of the favorite places for them to play ball games. And also in Belvan is where Lakshmi Devi. She sat because she wanted permission to cross the Yamuna and enter into the pastimes with Krishna and his gopis. But she was told, after performing tapasya, leaving Narayan, leaving Vaikuntha Loka, she sat right there, and we could go right to the place where she's still sitting. She fasted. She did austerities. And she was told that you can only enter into the pastimes of Vrindavan if you give up your identity as a goddess of fortune. Vrindavan is a place where the love is simple. Just be a gopi, milk cows, make patties out of their dung, and sing songs. Jivve vivasvaramita madhadeva govinda damodara madhaveti. Whatever the gopis did, they were just singing about Krishna. Such a simple life.